Is Ryobi.
Okay, Ryobi, yeah.
And then Sears Craftsman. Not a lot of Makita, not a lot of Milwaukee, not a lot of DeWalt. So on the top shelf, there's a ton of Ryobi tools. There's a reason that those are at the pawn shop. You also notice that there's a bunch of Craftsman stuff there, but there's some DeWalt, but you're not seeing a whole lot of Milwaukee or Makita tools. So in your shopping, you want to get your hands on the Makita and the Milwaukee stuff because obviously it's a higher quality product.
Not so.
So in the back you've got a couple of Makita cordless drills. Now if you're already set up and you have other equipment that matches those drills and you already have batteries, those might be a good purchase. I have several DeWalts that have this particular battery style, so picking up a couple of extra drills, I could probably get a really good deal on these drills because I've already got batteries and chargers for them. This generator's, they're asking $695 for this generator. It's a 55 watt generator. The truth of the matter is you could go to Cal Ranch and pick up a 5,000 watt generator or something similar for half this price. Now when you consider that even if that's not as good a quality or it's not as robust, you could buy that generator twice for what this one costs. So not every deal at the pawn shop is a good deal. You've got to do your homework, you got to look around. Yeah. This right here might look like a total piece of junk, but it's all metal. It's not plastic. It's not going to break. It's not going to dry out. It's not going to crack. And it's a good place to keep and store and organize your tools for a very low price point. So we've got a couple of other generators right here. You really never know what you're going to get. A lot of the times I've gotten stuff home and realized, hey, it's missing parts or it's broken or something's cracked, and I had to pitch it. There was nothing I could do. So really take your time, look it over, be careful about what you're buying.
So you can buy this particular one for new, about $400. This one's, what do they want, $220, I think?
Yeah, $279. But when it comes to chainsaws, I don't think that even for $100 I wouldn't buy a used chainsaw.
Right.
You want to know where it's been and exactly what happened to it.
Exactly, and we're proof positive of that because we spent $75 on one here. And it turns out that there was a gear, this thing was made in Italy and impossible to find parts for, and it had a part that was worn out.
For example,
it worked about a year.
This dainty little flower, circa 1970s. But so, I might have to get this just for the.
Put it on a shelf somewhere.
Put it on a shelf somewhere. That's beautiful.
Yeah, you could toss that around. That's your limbing saw.
That's right. But see, like the wood lathe up there, I bet if you went to him and said, hey, like, make me a deal, that might be a great tool. No, sorry, the lathe, you put a piece of wood in the lathe and it spins it in a circle, and then you run a knife 90 degrees to it and you can turn it and make it round or make handles or make bowls out of it. It's for wood turning. I think it's for as much as most people use a table saw, if you're building your little cabin or your house somewhere, being able to pick something up like this for $129, it's going to get you through that one project. Now, for me, going to work and riding it hard every single day, it's not going to hold up. But for somebody building a house, this could be a really good deal for $129 for a table saw that may last them for years because of the light usage they're going to put on it.
Which honestly looks like it's had light usage so far. I mean, you don't see a lot of scratches.
No scratches.
They pulled off the sticker, and that's maybe the extent of it. They had like a room that they remodeled.
Yeah.
So is the difference gas versus electrical as far as how well you want to know its history? If it's gas powered, it's better maybe to get something new. If it's electrical, there's a better chance that it's fine.
Yeah. the problem with the mechanical motor is you can't look inside and see, you know, what the motor and the rings and when it got the oil changed and that kind of stuff. On an electrical piece of equipment, whether it be a handsaw or a table saw, if you can look at the wear and tear on it, the scratches, the scrapes, it's going to give you an indication of how much use it's had. But that's more difficult with a motor or a chainsaw or something that's mechanical. This is where I find I get some of my best deals, is on the hand tools, because it looks beat up and the paint's come off of it, but it's still a great tool. The teeth are still really sharp. It's all functioning, but instead of paying 60 bucks for it, it's half price. And a lot of times a used one it's already got the bugs worked out of it and everything is smooth and it's ready to go to work. So this is a rigid. Rigid makes some really nice pipe wrenches. You can see here that the teeth are a lot more worn. This thing has seen some hard riding, but it's still in great shape and it's still got a lot of life in it. And they only want $9 for it. So $9 for a pipe wrench that may cost 4 or 5 times more than that if you bought it brand new. The thing you got to look out for is the maker's mark, from the China maker's mark. That doesn't mean it's a bad tool. It's just that I would be really suspect of it. These are one of my favorites. That's 14. For 18 bucks, I'm buying this one. You'll see this. I don't know if you can see right up there on the teeth. The teeth are really worn down across there. This thing, it's got kind of a bent handle. This is still got plenty of life in it, but where that's worn out, why not find one where the teeth are still taking this one with the better teeth is better bang for your buck. There's always really good deals. Somebody brought this in. It's got a loose head to it, but it would certainly be very easy to tighten it up and put that hammer to work. The reason I picked these out is that that's a rigid. It's a great tool. This one is another rigid, great tool, and it's offset. This is another offset. It's some China brand, but I like the angle, and buying these new, they're really expensive. So it was a good deal. It's made in the USA. That usually means it's some good stuff.
Okay, so this otherwise great looking piece of equipment is sold as is, and apparently it has a leak in the tank, which is keeping it running. Yes, which is keeping the compressor running at all times. So, is there also a safety concern at that point where the tank might rip open and explode under high pressure? I mean, what could you possibly be looking at on something like that?
I think that is the issue with buying used, is there are good deals, but for every good deal you're taking the 5 that you might just be buying something you can't use. So this rigid planer is $289, and it'll do some 13 inches of planing, whatever you're going to put in there, boards, beams, whatever. But this Makita down here is $150. I would take this all day over the rigid. This tool is built much better, and it's half the price. So more expensive doesn't always mean better tool.
Because if it comes out of that person, which most likely it will, if it wounds or destroys property, in other words, make damn sure there's a tree or something in back that it's not going to. Yeah.